Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Yachts here. It's Wednesday, and we're having a doubleheader today. We've got two games in a row today. They're kind of at the same time. 7:30, Raptors 905 hosting the Maine Celtics out at Paramount Fine Food Center. And then at 8 o'clock, down at the Smoothie King Arena, the Raptors will be playing the New Orleans Pelicans down there, their third game of their four-game road trip this week. Yeah, so let's do the preview, get everything set up for you guys for both the games tonight. And yeah, maybe some double screen duty tonight. I put one on the computer screen, put one on the TV, and watch them at the same time. Divert your eyes. Yeah, both ways. That's what I'll be doing, trying to keep tabs on things. I may be not paying as much attention to the 905. More, hopefully, for the Raptors getting their first road win tonight against New Orleans in New Orleans. It's very doable. Very, very doable, and I'll tell you why. I got the refs, I got the injuries right now. Let's start with the injuries. This is the list of stuff for the Raptors. Nothing really changed in the last day or so, according to our sources, Lewinberg and Murphy and people like that. Apparently, Bruce is not going to come back tonight. But if they said he's going to come back on this road trip, that means he'll come back against Miami in the in-season tournament game on Friday night. So, well, no Bruce yet tonight. Sorry, Bruce is still ruled out for today's game. Hopefully he will return on Friday. We'd like to see you in the court, Bruce Brown. Grady Dick is still out. He's been ruled out for today's game. It's a calf contusion now. They've upgraded it from a calf strain to a calf contusion. So that's the official words. Emmanuel Quickly's not expected back until mid-December. Kelly Olynyk, they were saying yesterday that Lewinberg is speculating that he thinks that Kelly Olynyk will come back before Emmanuel Quickly. So that means maybe Kelly's back in the next 2 weeks or so. 2 weeks or so. So that's kind of a good sign. DJ Carton also still out for 905 and the Raptors. So he's out because of his ankle. That's too bad. So speculating a starting lineup. I don't know. We talked about this a lot yesterday. Maybe not starting Davion and just letting Scotty and RJ run the point right from the start of the game would be smart. We have to see maybe. So I don't know. Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Oshai Abaji, Jakob Poeltl, and I don't know, maybe Jonathan Mobo. I don't know. Put him in the starting lineup just for fun and see how him and Scotty play together right off the bat. We need energy. We've not been getting good scores from the start of the game. The other team's been jumping out on us. We have not been doing well with that. So I don't know. Some people have suggested Chris Boucher. I don't know. I say the fifth starter should be up in the air and that it shouldn't just be Mitchell, just for Mitchell's sake in some ways. I mean, I love Mitchell. And I'm not one of these guys that's coming after him like some people are right now. Some people in Raptors Nation are embarrassing to us, seriously, because they just turn on our players so quickly for like one or two bad games. If you're a fan like that, you need to shut the fuck up and get off social media because honestly, he's seeing it. He is reposting the haters on his Twitter account yesterday. Davion Mitchell finding all these comments of different people saying really ugly things about him. Raptors fans, you idiots, you're not fans if you treat your players like that, first of all. And he's reposted them on his Twitter. And he's fueling his desire to kick ass. You haters, you dumbass haters. You call yourselves fans of the Toronto Raptors, yet every single chance when they fail, you denigrate them, put them down, and insult them. I fucking hate fans like y'all. I really, really do. Davion Mitchell's really embraced Toronto, and he's enjoying playing for us. Other than you fucks is what I would say this morning. So, yeah, I want to disassociate myself. I may say critical things about the way he plays basketball, but I'm mostly for this guy succeeding and having good things happening for him. And I don't appreciate how much the Raptors fans are such turncoats on their players sometimes. And I know it's not everybody. It's a certain select percentage of toxic Raptors fans that will turncoat on players so quickly, like Robert Pensair and his stupid-ass channel. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody who's turning on Davion, shut the fuck up right now. People have bad games sometimes. People have good games sometimes. And we ride or die with our Raptors, no matter who they are and what they're doing. And I'm proud of Davion Mitchell putting on that Raptors jersey right now. And I want to see him continue to succeed and get better and better on our team. And you jackasses that wrote all that shit, shut the fuck up, is what I'm saying to y'all. There you go. There's the injury report for the Raptors. It has to do with the fans being dicks to Davion Mitchell right now. The Pelicans have way worse injuries than us, guys. And this is why we should win tonight. It's crazy. Let me go over this. This may take a little while, y'all, talking about the Pelicans issues. Trey Murphy III is questionable for today's game. He has a left knee contusion, so he's questionable. That's actually makes it seem like he could play, but he hasn't played in a long time. So I don't know. I don't expect him to show up tonight. Herbert Jones is ruled out already for today's game. He is hurt his shoulder, so no Herb Jones for sure. Jordan Hawkins, the young rookie from last year, the sharpshooter, is questionable for today's game due to back spasms. So I don't know. Questionable is not probable. Questionable is probably not going to play. Who knows? Maybe between Trey Murphy and Jordan Hawkins, one of them shows up. Another person who's questionable for today is Brandon Ingram. It's his calf. So those three guys are the most likely to play out of all their injuries. But I'll tell you right now, 2 out of 3 probably won't play. If there's likely that maybe just one of them plays between Murphy, Hawkins, and Ingram. DeJounte Murray has been out for a while. He has a hand injury. And we also found out recently that his mother suffered a stroke right before the season, and that the Pelicans organization has been very kind to him in allowing him to go and be with his mother as she recuperates from her stroke. That's very classy. And that's very, very nice of the Pelicans organization to do that. But regardless, DeJounte will not be playing tonight. Zion Williamson is on the injury list. He is a long time away, not even close to coming back. He has no timetable. He just has a really, really, what is his injury anyway? What is it? Hamstring. He has a hamstring injury. Some people are saying that Zion just doesn't have a healthy lifestyle and that he's just, not taking care of himself. And that's part of the reason why he's hurt all the time. That could be true. I mean, that crazy porn star said that he had wrappers of junk food all littered in his house. I don't know, man. Zion, you're messing with your life, bro. I know you're RJ's buddy. And so when I want to have respect for you in honor of our good man, RJ, and say, dude, what are you doing with your life, Zion? What are you doing, man? Get your life tightened up so you can be healthy and be the best NBA superstar you can be, man. Jose Alvarado is also out, y'all. He has a left hamstring strain also, and he's been out he's going to be out for another week or so at least. So, yeah, their laundry list of injuries is crazy. It's a who's who of basically their top 7 rotation players, guys. Murphy, Jones, Hawkins, Ingram, Murray, Williamson, Alvarado. No wonder they have the same record as us, 4-14. Really bad records for both teams. So speculating on who's going to play for them, who's left over, Lex, since it sounds like most of the Pelicans are on the IR. Well, CJ McCollum, the starting at shooting guard, will be around. Their rookie, Yves Missy, who from Africa. He's been playing very, very well. He's had to start at center. So we'll get to see him tonight, CJ McCollum. Elfrid Payton has been brought in from the Australia League and G League. He's been through some years, I'm telling you, in different places where Elfrid Payton's been kind of out of the league. Well, he's having a renaissance. And the Pelicans right now, all of a sudden, coming in there being their starting point guard. In fact, the other night, he got like a 21-assist game for the Pelicans. So Payton will be their starting point guard, Elfrid Payton. He was out of the league for a couple years there. Other players on their team, I mean, I don't know who we're going to start. Brandon Boston Jr., Javonte Green. And, that could be the starting lineup. Elfrid Payton, CJ McCollum, Brandon Boston, Javonte Green, formerly of the Bulls, and Yves Missy as the starting lineup. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl off the bench also, and Daniel Tice. Daniel Tice is playing in the game today. Antonio Reeves, Trey Jemison, the second. He's actually a very intriguing big man who's playing for the Pelicans today. Trey Jemison is actually a load. He's a very good player in some ways. And then Carlo Malkovic Yeah, this is a team that has no talent. Their salary cap is sitting in street clothes on the bench. So we need to win tonight. This may be one of the rare occurrences this season where we have more talent than the team we're facing up against for sure. And I'm pretty sure that's going to happen tonight. So this is the night to end the losing on the road streak this year, Raptors. This is a very, very wounded, hurt Pelicans team. And the last 2 years, we've come to New Orleans. We've gotten blown out by 30 points by the healthy version of this team. Jose Alvarado being Grand Theft Alvarado, stealing the ball like crazy. Zion Williamson just happened to be healthy for the last several times we played in New Orleans, and he absolutely went off. Of course, Ingram, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. Yeah, these guys are good when they're all there, but they're not. So we need to beat New Orleans bad tonight. We need to win no matter what. There you go. There's your latest lineup news. Yeah, the lineup for them is like CJ McCollum, Elfrid Payton, Brandon Boston, Javonte Green, and Yves Missy is their starting lineup. Like their top 7 players are hurt right now and out. Even Hawkins is hurt now. So yeah, this bodes really well for the Raptors to get their first road win. Of course, and I went over our injuries. All right, let's do the G League referees for our game against Maine Celtics tonight. Pat O'Connell is the crew chief, number 73. The referee is Jenna Renault of international basketball fame. Of course, Jenna Renault's a FIBA ref. And then Paul Toomey is the umpire, number 74. That's right, out at Paramount Fine Food Center. They will be tipping off at 7:30. And looking at the roster for the Maine Celtics, who are we going to be facing tonight? Now, some house cleaning. The 905 waived Vance Jackson Jr. yesterday to make room for Quincy Guerriere coming back from the Team Canada event that he was at in Saskatchewan. Very successful. Team Canada winning all their games. And, well, Quincy's back with the 905 as of today, and they went ahead and waived Vance Jackson Jr. Just a little housekeeping note. All right, on the side of the Celtics, who are they playing? Well, I think we played the Celtics in preseason, and we played them twice. So we've seen some of their young players that are on their G League team play against us in those games. If you remember correctly, I'll name a couple of them, and you'll be like, oh, yeah, those guys. J.D. Davidson is really the star of the Maine Celtics. He's that little lion-haired point guard that scores a lot and can jump really, really high. And, yeah, he's been the mainstay kind of focal point of the G League team for the Celtics for a couple of years now. And he's still the main guy down there. Also, our old friend Ron Harper Jr. is on the Maine Celtics, so we should expect him to be returning to Mississauga tonight to play against his former team on the 905. Yep. That guy, Drew Peterson, remember him from preseason that went off, the guy who looks like a guy from down the street? Well, he'll be on the roster for the Celtics tonight for their Maine Celtics. Jay Scrubb, another name that we may recognize, not one of the Scrubb brothers who is playing for Canada, but another Scrubb, Jay Scrubb. Yeah, I don't really know most of these players. Those are the notable players for the Maine Celtics and who we can expect tonight. J.D. Davison, Ron Harper Jr., Drew Peterson, and Jay Scrubb. Yeah, if there's anybody else on here that's going to be somebody, well, maybe they'll make themselves known tonight. I don't know. We want to see the 905 continue to win. They won their last game. So win again, Andrew Jones and the crew. And hopefully you guys will be in good shape. Jacoby is not with them, of course. He is with the Raptors, and he'll be playing for Toronto in New Orleans tonight. He will not be with them in 905. Meanwhile, Shamshay will be with Mississauga in Mississauga. The Battle, Mobo, Shed, and New Orleans. So most of the rookies are in New Orleans with the big squad because of the injuries. And, yeah, the only rookie that's with 905 right now is Shamshay. So Shamshay show. Let's see some more Shamshay, baby. That's right. All right, the referees for tonight's game in New Orleans. The crew chief is Pat Frayer, guys, number 26 out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Is in his 24th season. He likes the show Yellowstone. His favorite movie is Caddyshack. Favorite musician is Billy Joel. He likes the book Paper Tiger. His favorite meal is barbecue, y'all. Well, will you take BB? We don't have the Q right now, Pat Frayer, but we have the first two letters, the barbecue. BB, not Bruce Brown, Barrett and Barnes. So will you take at least 2 out of 3? Ain't bad, Meatloaf. Maybe we could barbecue the meatloaf, Pat Frere. That's what I'm saying, man. His favorite app is the NBA app, of course. Of course. He'd most like to visit Italy. He'd like to play golf at Augusta National and Pebble Beach. And his hidden talent is he can sleep anywhere. I still don't understand how we can do that in the talent show, Pat Frere. I mean, we'll be real quiet, but maybe that's what you don't want. You want us to be a raving lunatic crowd and you can try and sleep in the middle of it all? That'd be awesome to see. Maybe that is a talent. The man that could sleep in the middle of chaos. Maybe that's what he does in the game sometimes. He falls asleep and misses calls. Before joining the NBA, Pat Frere officiated 4 years in the WNBA and 7 years in the CBA. There you go. His splits for the game today. Pat Frere is like the middleman. Pat Frere has the closest winning percentage to the Raptors' winning percentage as a franchise. He's been reffing for 24 years of the 30 years of the Raptors, and his win percentage is pretty much the same as the Raptors' win percentage as a franchise. So we are winning 48% with Pat Frere, just a little bit above our winning percentage right now. The last time we had Pat Frere this year, we won, y'all. So Pat Frere, the only time we've had him ref this year was one of our 4 wins. So that's a good sign. Pat Frere, we won with the last time he was around. Now the Pelicans win 45%. So it's a very narrow split, 48 to 45 in favor of the Raptors with crew chief Pat Frere from Minnesota. The second ref is the senior ref, but he is the second ref. Sean Corbin, number 33, his 30th season out of Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah, Sean Corbin was recently on the little talks between Tony Brothers, Scott Foster, himself, and James Capers talking about being refs in this league for 30 years. You know, this means Sean Corbin has been a referee in this league as long as the Raptors have been in this league. So in some ways, the 30th anniversary for Sean Corbin, just like the Raptors, y'all. His favorite TV show is Perry Mason. This is showing how old this guy is, man. He's like, we need Perry Mason. Ozzy Osbourne, a little bit of Perry Mason. Yeah, why? You like the Perry Mason show from like the 50s, Sean Corbin? Seriously? The black and white Perry Mason, or is there a new updated Perry Mason? Raymond Burr? Is there? I don't know. That's crazy that you like Perry Mason. In some ways, this tells us a lot about Sean Corbin and his ideals of right and wrong. Perry Mason was a very ethical show in some ways. And well, hey, this makes me think Sean Corbin's more on the up and up, that his favorite TV show is Perry Mason. That's crazy. His favorite movies, though, are the Godfather movies, Godfather and Godfather 2. That goes the other direction. Favorite musician, Ben Tankard. Tankard, I don't know who that is. I don't want to diss him. His favorite book is Why Does Everything Have to Be About Race? Oh, okay, that's an interesting book. Why does everything have to be about race? Not everything has to be about race, but it is important to note when race is something that is a factor in something, or there's a history of some discrimination or something bad, then there should be some talk about that component of things and such. Yeah. Favorite meal, steak and lobster. Yeah, this guy likes steak and lobster. I don't know. Can we barbecue the steak and lobster? Maybe. His favorite app is the News app. News app. Is there just an app called News at this point? There might be. He most like to visit South Africa, Johannesburg. His bucket list is to drive cross country in an RV, and his hidden talent is cooking. Well, could you cook up a meal while Pat Frere is sleeping and test him to see if you wake him up with the good smells of your food? That could be an added difficulty for Pat Frere. Right there. Sean Corbin considers his most memorable NBA assignment to be a triple overtime game between the Boston Celtics and the Vancouver Grizzlies on February the 17th, 1999. Wow, that's his most memorable game, a triple overtime game. I guess that is kind of memorable because he's like, man, I want to go home. Nah, dog, there's another overtime, bro. You got to keep reffing. Maybe he remembers it because his legs hurt because he had to run so much that day. Sean Corbin is the best ref for the Raptors today, which is strange because I don't really associate Sean Corbin with the friendly ref to the Raptors. He's an older ref. He's kind of ornery. In some ways, he can go like Mark Davis. He's a little bit like Tony Brothers as far as like, yeah, if you're playing hard, I'll reward you. But yeah, don't try and upstage me or I'll punish you like Mark Davis will. So this is the ref that's like that. So we got to watch Sean Corbin for that, those two things. But he will reward teams that work hard and bust their ass. So that's what y'all got to do, Raptors, with Sean Corbin refereeing. We win 52% of our games with Sean Corbin. We have the best percentage with him today. And the Pelicans win 47% of their games. So 52 to 47 for the Raptors with second referee Sean Corbin. The third ref is a young ref named Danielle Scott. Yes, Danielle Scott is in her fourth season out of Woodland Hills, California. She likes to watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Her favorite movie is Love and Basketball. Her favorite book is Think Like a Monk. She likes chicken tikka masala. And her favorite app is Pinterest. She would most like to visit Iceland. She wants to learn sign language, and her hidden talent is photography. Yeah, Danielle Scott's officiating experience includes 4 seasons in the G League and 8 years each at the collegiate level, Mid-Eastern Athletic, Pac-West, and Southern California Intercollegiate Athletic Conferences, and high school ranks in Southern California. So she spent 8 years in high school, 8 years in college, and then 4 seasons in the G League before she became an NBA ref. That's the path. I mean, this isn't like you think these are just like DEI hires and stuff like that. Sure, in some ways they want to have diversity in all of the jobs, but this young woman earned her spot in the NBA because she's reffed in a lot of different places. And to discount her just for that would be wrong, is what I'm telling you. Now, she is not friendly to the Raptors. She's reffed 1 game this year for us, and we lost. We lost the first game this year that she's already reffed. We win 43% of our games. I believe we're like 3-4 with her in our record. And meanwhile, the Pelicans are 6-3, and they have a 67% winning percentage with Danielle Scott. So the ref split with the third ref is 43 to 67 for the Pelicans. So there you go. 2 of the senior refs historically favor the Raptors, and then the third ref, Danielle Scott, is favoring the Pelicans. So there you go. There's your ref report. I say this right now. Pat Frayer is a fair ref. He's the guy who gave technicals to LeBron James. And in some ways, I trust Pat Frayer. We'll have to see how things go. Sean Corbin can be a little bit of a hothead at times, but he's a pretty fair ref also. So it's not a bad ref crew. I don't think they'll get in the way of us trying to win this game if we are in good shape to try and win this game. I don't see why they'd manipulate it against us in this situation with the Pelicans and the Raptors tonight. So there you go. There's your ref report. Yeah. Pat Frayer, Sean Corbin, Danielle Scott. That's right. Trevor is here first in the chat. Let's see what Trevor J is saying right now. Speak positive words into your life every single morning. Think big, healing, think healing, think success, think peace, think happiness, think growth mindset. Always start your day with positive energy. I like that. Yeah, I like to get a nice phone call in the morning from people that I love in the morning, because it makes my day just start. In some ways, it's like great. You just get up in the morning. Oh, hi. Good morning. I love you. All right, bye. That's a great way to start the day. Talk to somebody you love. How about that? Get on the phone and call them. Just do it. You might wake them up. They'll be like, wow, you woke me up. And that's like, I love you. All right, but you know what? I'm trying to sleep. That's what I'm saying there. Trevor's got happy game day. Let's go, Raptors. There's that lineup. There's the emoticons. We'll get those figured out. Carlos saying, morning, Lex, and most gracious freaks. We're going to get that 5th win tonight. Game day alert. Let's go. I believe this is true too, Carlo. I believe in this. You tell Santino, that little bundle of joy, that the Raptors are going to get their 5th win of the season tonight, and they're going to do it on the road in New Orleans, the Big Easy. Yeah. And hopefully we keep that momentum going, and we beat Miami on Friday in the in-season tournament also. Miami playing an in-season tournament game last night with a crazy-ass yellow court. I wonder if we're going to be playing on that court on Friday. Could very well be the Raptors have another opponent on the court. It's the court on Friday night. We'll have to see. There's some good crazy in-season tournament courts last night. That green court that's going on in Minnesota also. Yeah, there's some crazy-ass courts out there for the in-season tournament. I'm telling you, those are bright hues bright hues is what I'm saying right there. That's right. Kareem Thomas saying 21 years ago, I got some fine ass Portuguese girl pregnant. Okay, non sequitur. All right, let's see. We said, fuck it, let's have another kid. And 9 months later, we were blessed with our second child. Then we got married. 20 years, holy shit. Blessed. There you go. There you go. Well, congratulations, Kareem Thomas, and your wife and your kids. Just congratulations on a great relationship for 20 years, man. I know it's hard work. It's not easy. And it is a true accomplishment, man. So big ups to you, man. Big ups to you. I give you dunks, but you get dunks in your own life, in your own way, when you have that going on, man. Good stuff. I love hearing that. Isaac's got me on blast. Look at Isaac Campbell, Mr. Wrench, coming in here, put me on blast. Hello. Carlos saying, someone clip this and send it to Davion. Yeah, what I just said. Yeah, you guys can do this kind of stuff, man. You know, somebody likes my stuff and they want to clip certain parts of it out. You have full allowances to clip my stuff and give little snippets of me where it's pertinent for people to see. And I agree. Yeah, send that to Davion. He should hear real ones like the Raptor Freaks have his back. And we're not going to be overly critical and say, oh, this and that. Some people are saying trade him. Some people are saying, oh, you guys are crazy, overreacting and having no patience for any kind of like ups and downs as a player. This is just natural. Players aren't going to play the same way every single fucking night, you losers that don't understand basketball. And if they're doing a lot of things correctly and they're helping to win, then I don't care if they make some mistakes, because in some ways, mistakes are naturally going to happen. And getting all mad at Davion Mitchell and saying stupid shit is not helping anybody. And you all aren't real fans. And I'm going to say that right now. In some ways, yes, you can be critical of the team, but do it in a basketball theory way. Tell me, oh, I don't like how Davion doesn't do this or this as far as in his game. And don't just be like, throw him out like trash and don't give us any explanation, you sorry losers. That's what I say right there. That's right. Nako saying, my boy Herb, yeah, he's hurt. Nako, he's on your team, right? He's on your fantasy team. So you've been keeping up with Herb Jones. And, you know, when has he played, Nako? Has he played at all this year? I mean, in some ways, I want to know. It's like he's not going to play tonight for sure. There's three guys that could play. They're Jordan Hawkins, Brandon Ingram, and Trey Murphy. Those three guys are questionable, but they're not likely to play, any of them. Maybe one of them plays. Stargate saying Elfrid Payton is back in the league. Yeah, that's how hurt the Pelicans are, that they had to go and sign Elfrid Payton to come and have live bodies to play, and he's their starting point guard right now. So we will see Elfrid Payton lining up on the other side. Now, let's think about this. Is Davion the best matchup for him? Maybe. Out of the guys who are available for us, Davion Mitchell may be needing to start because he needs to stymie Elfrid Payton from trying to get another 20 assist game. Because he did. He came back. He's only played like 2 or 3 games for the Pelicans, and he's already like in the top 2 of assists for the whole entire year for them. So he's having a big effect as a playmaker, helping the New Orleans Pelicans right now with no Alvarado and, you know, DeJounte Murray. So, yeah, Elfrid Payton's the starting point guard, and he got a 21 assist game the other day. So, yeah, it's crazy. Trevor's saying Zion Williamson fired his agent, same as OG, because he wanted to play for the New York Knicks, but it never happened. Okay, Zion fired his agent because he wanted to go to New York, and he didn't get that to happen. So now he's stuck there. You know what? That's not because of your agent, Zion. That is not because of your agent. I'm going to tell you this right now. Zion Williamson, you not being on New York is because of your own damn fault. Yeah. It's because, well, look, they went and have a shopping list. They went and got Mikal Bridges. They went and got OG. They went and got Cat, Bodega Cat. But they didn't have no money left over for you, half-ass broken down player all the time. No, why would they do that? I mean, in some ways, the Knicks aren't that dumb. I don't think anybody wants you around the league right now because you've not proven that you can stay healthy and play for an extended period of time. So don't get mad at your agent. Don't fire him. I think everybody has eyes, and they can see the history of your playing time in the league, and that is why you're not getting moved, bro. That's why you're not getting moved, man. It's right there. Kaz is here. Good to see Trucker Kaz in the morning. It's a Wednesday, so he's on the road again. Good morning, Lex and crew. Good morning to you, Kaz. Hope you're doing great and drive safe. And only good things coming your way right now on your path, on your route. How about that? Stargate saying, hey, Lex, your boy over on Raptor Digest is at it again. spinning negative narratives about RJ and the team all over. Okay, that's Raptors Digest Ben Hogan doing some bullshit out there. I've heard some people coming at RJ recently, and it's bugging me, man. I mean, they did the same thing kind of on To the Point this week. Coach Roach, very critical of Darko. And in some ways, there's some stuff that he said that I agree with, but there's some stuff that I'm like, Coach Roach, come on, man, be nicer. But yeah, if that's what he's doing over there, whatever. They want to talk about RJ. Well, listen, Ben Hogan, you don't live in Toronto. You live in the Maritimes, right? You're on the East Coast. You don't understand what it is to be 416 for life, 905 for life. And in some ways, I do. I didn't live here my whole life. I lived in Florida, but I've always honored and respected the city of Toronto. As a person who's from Toronto, I've never been one of these Canadians that hated Toronto because, I hate Toronto. They think they're the center of the country and all this shit. Listen, Ben Hogan, if you love Toronto Raptors, well, I know you may not like Toronto, the city. And well, RJ Barrett is a native son of our city, and it's feeling so good. In some ways, I wish you could enjoy this synergy of understanding being a Torontonian, having a Torontonian playing for your Toronto team. But obviously, you don't value that like I do. In some ways, you don't see the hidden intangibles of what RJ Barrett brings to his team because he puts on for his city. He puts us on his back. He carries us because it's a little extra, a little bit more, because this guy's from here. I can't get this. I love hidden intangibles. I love hidden effects. I love things that are a side that helps you. And in some ways, I think that the Raptors are smart for gaming their team with more Canadians on it, especially ones from Toronto, like Kelly Olynyk and RJ Barrett. So Ben Hogan, what's your argument? You think that he should be carrying the ball, like playing point guard? You think he shouldn't be shooting so much? I don't even know what his argument is. Tell me what his problem with RJ is, and I'll destroy it and give the good counterpoint to it. Because if he's just coming after RJ, well, you're an idiot. Because RJ's playing the best basketball of his career right now. And what the fuck do you expect, Hogan, from fucking Raptors Digest? You little Peter Brady voice cracking motherfucker. Yeah, what do you expect, man? Clip me out and send that to Raptors Digest right now. Clip it out. I want him to hear me. He needs to hear me. Fiercely said, good morning, fam, and happy game day. Happy game day times 2. It takes 2 to make a thing go right. It takes 2 wins to get it out of sight. That's right. Let's say 7:30 right now and 9:05. We're going to take the court right now. That's right. Let's get out there and beat Maine Celtics. Let's beat the Celtics. And then let's beat the Pelicans also tonight. Yeah, 2 wins. Double win. Let's get double wins so I can react to them tomorrow in a crazy way. Wah! Double wins. Wah! Nago saying Alfred's been balling. Yeah, maybe somebody needs to go get him in the fantasy league. Did anybody go get Elfrid Payton yet? Because I maybe need to go get Elfrid Payton right now. Let me see. Let's look at the waiver wire transactions, and let's see if anybody actually went and got Elfrid Payton yet. No. Yeah, it looks like David did. David got Elfrid Payton on the 25th, so he got him 2 days ago. So David is taking advantage of the assist numbers that he's been given right there. Okay, there you go. Yeah, Elfrid Payton is not available in our fantasy league. Of course, David went and got him. Yeah, let's see. Naka's saying race is a social construct. Yeah, I've seen these videos that have been coming out lately. Like Garrett Temple posted one the other day that in some ways the whole idea of being a white person was manufactured. In Europe, everybody was kind of more country oriented. There was French, Spanish, English. And it wasn't until people came to North America that the whole term white came about. And it was really kind of as a social construct, like you're saying, something that you utilize to kind of separate people in some weird ways and stuff like that. Yeah, I still think that it is something that matters in certain ways, because in some ways, listen, there's still discrimination. There's still people that cannot look at a colorblind way in this world. Until there's a thing where there's, equality for everyone. And I'm talking about not just by race. I'm talking about gender. I'm talking about age. I'm talking about, any kind of way, disability, any kind of way that people can separate each other and kind of put each other down and stuff like that. It's always going to be a factor. Take this from somebody who studied social sciences in grad school at Florida State. that, there's a lot of arguments about the idea of the concept of race right now. And some of it has the best intentions. Let's just put it that way. Some people want to make arguments and statements about the whole concept just to utilize it for their own ability to be fucking racist. Let's just put it that way. So in some ways, I'm very wary of anybody who's coming out all of a sudden saying race is just this or this, because it's like, okay, what's coming next from you? You're going to say something really blatantly racist after this? Because that's usually the next action sometimes. That's what I'm saying. One of the things I'm really pissed off about is I feel like right now there's going to be a movement in the media to normalize what's happening in the United States, and they're going to move further fascist and right wing and really weird, fucked up ways. I watched a Wired clip on YouTube yesterday. Wired is a magazine, and they have interviews with experts. And they had an interview with a cult expert, a guy who studies cults. He studied Jim Jones and all the different crazy cults, Waco and all this kind of stuff. And he talks about what the cults are. Well, they straight up asked him a question. Do you think MAGA is a cult? And he said, no, I don't think it is, because it's a political movement. But it solely smacked us some bullshit implemented thing that's trying to normalize the whole structure of the government starting to happen right now. We need to resist it, y'all. We need to remember what life was like before this election, because they're really going to try and warp reality into a really weird place that benefits fuckface who just won the presidency in the United States. And the media campaigns, the mainstream media is already reinforcing this in really strange, weird ways in different places. So be cognizant of this and watch with critical thinking, your eyes wide open. Trust me. Yeah, this dude, I was like, as soon as he said he didn't think MAGA was a cult, I was like, you're so full of shit. You're trying to say they're not a cult because you want to try and downplay what's going on here. No, they're a cult. He's a charismatic dictator, and he has a lot of people wrapped around his finger in fucked up ways. And the way that he's acting, where you can't say anything bad about him or you're going to get punished, is dictatorial and also cultish. So, cult expert, you fucking coming on Wired and trying to say that the MAGA is not a cult, well, you lose all credibility with me, because that shit is a cult, motherfucker. And you can't tell me otherwise. In some ways, it is. It's a fucking cult, because it's only one brain that matters and what he thinks matters, and nobody else thinks for themselves in the MAGA cult. And that's the damn truth right there. That's the damn truth. All right, let's keep going. Trevor's saying, food on the table. Raptors, go get it together. Eat everything. There you go. Trevor's putting food on the table for the refs. Pizza, hot dogs, grilled cheese, tacos, chicken. Yeah, there's a lot out there. Wow, Trevor J, you're going to feed them. MT saying, sucks to see RJ's little hot streak is over and he's back to the guy he was with the Knicks. Whatever, I'll give it time. Yeah, I wouldn't even characterize it like this. RJ's solid. RJ's contributing. RJ's going to find different ways to give us. Once again, we cannot expect NBA players to come out and just be robots and just do the same thing every single night. There's very few players like this. Kawhi Leonard is kind of like a robot. Maybe he's kind of the closest, but he's hurt, so we never see him do it. No, RJ's doing fine. He started very hot. In some ways, he played at a very high level for a while. In some ways, he's cooled and come down to earth. In some ways, you have an average in the middle, and sometimes you go above and beyond, like a 39-point game recently, and then sometimes you're getting a 16-point game. I have no problem with this. He's still contributing. He's still getting double digits, and he's still helping us in all kinds of different ways. I don't get nitpicky like this. And in some ways, I think you calling him like he was back on the Knicks, that's not fair either. Because even though he's not scoring as much right now or making some of his shots as high a percentage as he did before, he's still passing the ball, and he's still doing a lot of things he wasn't doing in New York on the Raptors right now. So I'm serious, man. Like, there's no reason for anybody to be coming after Davion Mitchell or RJ Barrett, seriously, because these guys are playing fine. We are doing great. We're playing together, and they're adding two things and helping us. There can't be absolutely balls to the wall perfect every single night. There has to be an allowance of being a human being, is what I'm saying right now. I have no problem with the way RJ's playing. Other people can be overly critical and saying this and saying that, but I'm not with them. I'm not with them. I stand with my guy. And honestly, I think he's been fantastic this whole year. He still is. I mean, this dude's averaging 23 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. And no Raptor's ever done that in the history. Not Vince, not Kawhi, not Scotty. Nobody has ever averaged 23, 6, and 6 like RJ is doing right now. So he's got to be doing something right if he has a stat line that none of the Raptors have ever done in the history of the whole franchise. So how about that? That's what I'd say to that, MT. Good morning to you every morning, 9:30 a.m. Nako's saying you can't tell me that with Knicks that Knicks RJ was this good at passing. That's exactly right. That's part of my counterpoint to this point is that the difference right there is RJ's passing way better, and in some ways he's doing other things better too, like defense. He's playing better defense on the Raptors also. So yeah, this is no reversion to RJ in New York because first of all, RJ in New York doesn't exist ever again, at least not right now. And as far as I don't think it will. And RJ in Toronto is a totally different kind of feel and different kind of thing. And in some ways, y'all need to just allow people to have variance in their careers. They're not going to come out and just do exactly perfect every single fucking night. And some nights Scotty will have a bad game and then a good game, like he did this week. He had a bad game on Sunday. He came out on Monday and kicked some ass and played very much better the second night of the back-to-back. So, it's like that. It goes up and down. So if RJ's in a natural little bit of a downswing right now, well, he's a human being. And in some ways, I'll give him that, all right? I'll give him that. Maybe other people don't, and they're like, oh, you got to jump this high, RJ. You got to jump. Who the fuck are you to tell RJ how much he's got to jump and when and how high he has to jump? No. Don't get it twisted. He plays for us, and I'm proud of him. And I allow him to be himself because I know he's going to be a badass when he's himself. And he's going to do the things that are going to take us to success in the long run. That's right. There you go. Fiercely saying, be blessed at Kareem and congrats. Yeah, that's a fantastic accomplishment. 20 years of marriage is nothing to laugh at, man. That is a real investment and commitment of time with one person. And man, that's amazing. Jimmy Pope saying, MT, it's been 2 games. Yeah, I don't even see this. Like if he was getting like 8 points or like shooting like 2 for 20, I'd be like worried. But I'm not worried about this. He's been not that bad, actually. Honestly, he has been not that bad. His shooting percentage has gone down a little bit in the last 2 games. But for the most part, the guy's contributing. He's still going and carrying and getting his layups and hitting threes here and there. So I don't see what the problem is. I don't understand why people are so nitpicky and overanalyzing these guys. In some ways, everybody has ebbs and flows, just like the ocean. High tide, low tide, it's just a natural thing in this world. And why can't we allow our players to be human beings? They're not cyborgs yet. Maybe that day will come where we have robot players and they're not even humans. Yeah, you're going to be like, I wish he was bad at sometimes like RJ. I hate this robot basketball where everybody's perfect. They're always playing perfect. I wish there was some variance again. And, oh, man, I wish it was I could complain about a player being so bad because the robots are perfect. Yeah, what if it gets to that point? And then you'll be like, oh, damn, I miss when I could be a little jerk and talk trash about the Raptors over little things. Cool guys saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Game day. Let's go. That's right. See, if you don't understand, this is a Raptors fan channel for positivity. And we ain't about bashing our players. We ain't about talking about trading them. This isn't a place to come in and be like, yeah, fuck Davion Mitchell. I hate him so much. No, we're standing for our guys because we're real fans for our team. Win or lose, ride or die, Raptor Freak family is like that. And I mean, the people that are like me, like that, are the ones who like this channel and they stick around. But the people that want to come in and diss them and say stuff like that, well, at some point they're like, well, Lex he's too positive about the team. Well, somebody's got to fucking do it with so many negative ass fuck faces like Raptors Digest out there. Somebody's got to do it. That's what I'm saying. That's right. RJ will bounce back. That's right. We give words of encouragement and we speak our guys up, whether it's the front office, the coach, or any of the players. That's what I do, unless it was Malachi Flynn. That's one guy I was willing to dump on majorly all over the place, and everybody knows why. That's right. Let's keep going. MT saying, Jimmy, actually, it's been 4 years. What do you mean it's 4 years? What do you mean it's been 4 years? What do you mean it's 4 years? It's been 2 games. What do you mean 4 years? RJ's career has been fine. I don't know. MT, you want a strike? Because I'll give you a strike for being overly critical. What does this mean? 4 years. What do you mean it's been 4 years? Elaborate, please, before I kick you out. Because this is a clubhouse. This isn't like a channel where I'm trying to get as many subs. If I have somebody in here that isn't like, is a waste of time, honestly, I will kick you out, just so you know. This is not a channel like other channels where it's just like everybody's welcome. I will kick motherfuckers out, just so you know. So we say Zion has allowed his off-court distractions to become a real problem, man. I just think that he doesn't have any discipline. You know, it takes discipline to get up every morning and do a YouTube stream like what I'm doing. I don't know if he has discipline. I don't know what he's doing with his life to keep his body in the right shape. In some ways, he's like Charles Barkley, where he has a crazy athleticism for being a very large man. And, in some ways, these guys get spoiled. They don't really take care of themselves. I mean, Charles really didn't take care of himself when he was playing the NBA. This man was eating whatever he wanted to, and he was drinking like a crazy man. And he was not in the best shape that he could have been. It's kind of weird to think about what Charles Barkley could have done with his career if he had been more in shape. Sometimes he wasn't in shape on purpose because he was trying to get back at Harold Katz and the Philadelphia 76ers. It's like one time he showed up to camp like way overweight just to piss them off. He did that shit. That's all true. Yeah, I don't know. Zion, you need to maybe talk to RJ, man. He's one of your best friends from Duke. And maybe RJ could rub off on you as far as like, Zion, this is what you need to be doing, man. Stop doing this. Stop staying up all night talking to porn stars and start getting sleep and start eating better, healthy food, man. Like you're eating all this junk food. Don't go to 7-Eleven and go spend like $50 in the food, the candy, and all that bullshit. No, you got to eat right. You are what you eat, Zion. And maybe that's his biggest problem right there. Maybe that's what it is. Cool Cat saying shout out to Fred VanVleet and his Rockets on making it to the NBA Emirates Cup knockout round. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really excited about this. Fred's had kind of a redemptive turn this week. He really got in the spotlight because of his tirade. You bitch, you bitch, you bitch. And then, everybody's talking about, he's going to get in so much trouble. And then he only got a $50,000 fine. He didn't get suspended. And then he played last night for the Rockets in a crucial NBA Cup game and kicked ass, had a fantastic game. And Fred's another good example of this. People are so quick to react to Fred VanVleet, whether he has a good or bad game. And this is the thing. Fred can have real stinkers. We know as Raptors fans. And that's why some people still hate him to this day. Idiots wouldn't let him have human ups and downs. Because honestly, when his ups are up, they're very up like they were last night. And they take his team to winning. And that's what happened. The Rockets are going to Vegas now. A lot of it has to do with Fred VanVleet's leadership. And Rockets fans, you guys are getting bipolar with him just like Raptors fans used to. You turn on him earlier in the week. Now you're like, loving him again? Come on, man. Y'all can't be just steady and ride or die with Fred and understand he is your captain and you live and die and win and lose with him. And why can't you just be loyal to him? I'm serious. This is the action right here. It's unloyal fans who are prima donnas who think the players owe the world to them. And who the fuck are you? Just let them be human beings and compete. They play for your city. You should be proud of them and you should support them. That's what I say to that. Thank you, Fred, for coming back out and reminding everybody why you're a badass and getting your team to Vegas. Seriously, that is not a small feat. This NBA Cup shit, it can be convoluted and script written. And the Rockets being one of those teams that are going, that's a big deal. So kudos to Fred. Cool Cat saying, with Scotty's return, we have to allow a period of adjustment for the team. Boom, goes the dynamite. There's an educated opinion from a Coach Cool Cat. She's exactly right. We just added Scotty back in, and he's a huge, huge part of our team. He's the center of the universe. And in some ways, the dip in what RJ's doing right now is partly to make room for Scott to get his and do what he does on the court. That's why I'm like, don't overreact to this kind of shit. There may be very good, easy reasons why. And Cool Cat just put one right out there. And that's probably the biggest one right there. That one right there. Carlos saying, mark my words, Darko will complete RJ's game. Yeah. I think RJ's going to do it himself too, working along with him, In some ways, Darko may have schemes and ideas and visions of what RJ Barrett can be as a more complete player. And he's talking to RJ about it. And RJ's putting in the work. And RJ's making strides and becoming a better and better player in this league as he goes. He just is. He's getting better and better. I don't see what this MT guy is saying this morning. I see this guy getting better and better as a complete player as far as defensively and playmaking. So I don't see what you guys' problems are. Oh, this guy scored 16 points and, whatever. We had 3 players get double digits in the last game. And RJ was one of them, okay? So in some ways, he's absolved of your bullshit is what I'm saying right now. That's right. Wayne's here. Good to see Wayne Strainer. Raptor Freaks, on the issue of basketball, we have a team that has been playing without their main talent. The bench has developed, and the project is to mesh and the more talent in with the support cohort. Yeah, there's going to be the shrinking minutes for Shed and Mobo as these guys come back. In some ways, we put a lot of responsibility and time invested in these rookies already, and that's been fantastic. They're getting such good experience and development already, so young in their careers. That's the hidden benefit of Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, Jacoby Walter, and all them being hurt so far this season, is that these other guys are getting in there and getting to get experience. And this is a great thing. But when we have the more capable players coming back, in some ways, some of the minutes will shrink for some of the younger players, because in some ways, that's just how it goes. You want the best quality out there. You got to get Bruce Brown and different people out there when they come back. So, yeah, I'm all about this. And we're going to have to see how it all goes. Let's see. Jimmy saying, be careful, MT. You're not sounding like a Raptor fan. And he's been playing like a superstar this year, averaging career highs. He has 2 mediocre games compared to how he's been playing this season. Yeah, I don't even think that they're not bad games. That's the thing. If RJ has a bad game, I'll call him out for it. And he did have a couple bad games last season in a Raptors uniform. It's not like he hasn't had stinkers. But once again, we're forgiving fans. We're not fucking taskmasters. Who the fuck are these fans that think they're so badass and they can be just telling people how fucking perfect they need to be? Is anybody coming to your work, MT, and watching over you and making sure every action, everything you do is exactly right? Well, if you work for Amazon, you probably do have that. But I'm just saying, is anybody really nitpicking your life in every little aspect like you're nitpicking RJ Barrett? How about that? I'll say that right there. That's right. Trevor J saying, as Raptors fans, all right, let's see. We are so toxic to the only team that is based in Canada. We're supposed to show them love. We should be proud to even have a team in Canada. Well, once again, I'm going to tell you this phenomenon on social media is there's a lot of people that are acting like they're Raptors fans that are not. And it could very well be MT is not a Raptors fan. MT is a New York Knicks fan, and he's disgruntled, and he just wants to show up and talk shit about RJ in a Raptor space. That could very well be it right there. He could have been one of the Knicks fans that hated RJ the whole time he was there, and, well, he still hates RJ for some reason. Maybe he's just, like, jealous of him. He's a 3rd pick in the draft. He's a handsome young man, and he's doing good things in his life. Or maybe he's a bot. Maybe he's just like, because you got to understand, there's so much bullshit out there. There's so many people masquerading as who they aren't, and they acting like they're certain people, whether it's politically or in sports, and they're just adding to the noise. And in some ways, some of these people that are saying the things about Davion may not have anything to do with the Raptors. They're just being ugly people. And Davion's seeing it. And in some ways, he's thinking, I hope he's not thinking these are, this is what I say. And Chris said this before, Chris Boucher on Hustle Play. He understands the difference between fans and haters. And in some ways, the action of what you are on social media is exactly what you are. Like MT is a hater, obviously, with the way he's approaching things with RJ. That's what he is. He's not a fan. You label the way they talk. A fan is somebody who's for the team, supports the team, wants the team to win, and wishes good things for it. And a lot of people are out there saying they're fans, but they're really just little shithead critics that fucking think that they have some sort of opinion that matters in this world as far as what they have to say about Raptors or Raptors players. So that's really what it is. In some ways, once again, Celtics fans, Sixers fans, fans from other teams can come in and act like they're Raptors and have their own handles and just trying to make players feel like their team doesn't like them. That could very well be it. There's all kinds of dirty ass playing in social media when it comes to public opinion, perception, and anything to do with things like this. There's so many bots, Russian bullshit going on with Russian bots coming in and just saying bullshit in different places on different topics to try and sway favor. It's so much of this right now. And it's infiltrated sports too, other than just politics. That's right. Jimmy's saying fans are forgetting to be fans. They think they know the best. P.S. You're not Masai or a GM of the team. I support who has a Raptor jersey on their back regardless. That's right. And that's why I made this channel, because I was sick of half-ass Raptors fans who don't actually support the team and just want to be little shitheads being critical on social media. Molly Weir. That's right. I'll call her out. That's right. I'm just saying. Seriously, why even be a fan? Why even invest the time if you can be a little shithead like this? Seriously, you're going to watch the games and you're going to be a little shithead? What the fuck are you doing with your life? Get behind your team. Get behind your team. That's what I'm saying right there. Get behind your team. Thank you, Jimmy. Pope of Positivity knows what it means to be positive. That's right. G saying, I think RJ has had to adjust most to players being injured. When Scotty and IQ were out, he was running point. Now he's on another role. All other players have played their positions and roles. I think this is very true. I think that in some ways, RJ had to carry more of the playmaking role in recent weeks since the season started. And now with Scotty back, that role's kind of shifted a little bit more to being more of a receiver than a passer. And that's just how it is. In some ways, there's going to be different spacing because Grady's out all of a sudden, and that could affect RJ also. I mean, that's a factor in the last game we saw on the court. Without Grady out there, there's certain spacing. It's more packed in the paint. And then all of a sudden, you got Beef Stew and Jalen Durant getting physical with RJ when he's coming to the basket because there's not a three-point threat that is normally in the lineup. So there's a lot of different reasons for why ups and downs. RJ still went got his. That's the thing. RJ goes to the basket and gets his. I think some of the hatred towards RJ is people that absolutely hate the fit of him being in Toronto. They're anti-Toronto people. And they're like, they want to fucking dump on RJ because they see how beautiful his homecoming has been. They've seen how it's worked out, how he's getting better. These sour ass New York fans may be coming around saying, fuck, man, RJ's doing so much better in Toronto than he did in New York. I hate this. Let's fucking talk shit about him somewhere. I mean, that's as easy as what it could be figured out right here, man. That's what it is right there. Smith saying Zion is a major disappointment, in my opinion. I think so, too. All right. Trevor wants me to do the Instagram stories in Classic Card. I'll do the Instagram stories first. 905 is showing a highlight from years ago when we played the Maine Celtics and O'Shea Brissett dunked on Taco Fall. Yeah, that's pretty good. We've had some anniversaries recently. We had the anniversary of Marc Gasol holding Joel Embiid to 0 points 5 years ago, like just recently. And in fact, I react to it on the Kensington Variety VIP Club show that came out today. So watch that from 5 years ago, talking about Marc Gasol holding Embiid to 0 points, the least amount of points Embiid ever scored in an NBA game his whole entire career. Yeah, the anniversary of that was just recently. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's game day, y'all. And we got the Maine Celtics in town. So 7:30 tip-off at Paramount Fine Food Center. Y'all get out there and support your team. Support it. Don't be a little shit. That's what I'm saying. Jamal McGlure is saying, I truly miss the days when Black Friday was like this. And he's got a picture of some crazy-ass people fighting over stuff in this. Why? Oh, it's because it's all online now. People just order through the computer, and they don't have to go to the actual box store and fight to get the TVs in person. Okay, I mean, you wish it was like that. People got hurt, Jamal McGlure. People got hurt, and he's doing something with the Raptors still. Jamal's still involved with the Raptors, even though he's involved with the CBL. He's in all kinds of different places. He's just in basketball in Toronto. That's what's going on. Let's see. Norman Powell's really putting on the Understand the Grind gear on blast. He's got a 30% off a deal going on with his stuff. You can't buy Siakam gear, but you can buy Norman's gear, the UTG. So go get that Understand the Grind from our champion, Norman Powell, number 24 for the Clippers. That's right. He's got some cool sweats there, right there. Yeah, it's pretty good. All right, let's see. Jacoby Walter is in the hotel lobby of a nice hotel with a big chandelier. And Bruno Fernando has taken the picture, and he's thumbs upping because he's glad he's on the main squad. And he's not with the 905 right now because of Grady's injury. So he gets to make some more NBA minutes happen. And he probably will play tonight. I'm expecting to see Jacoby Walter out there playing against a young New Orleans Pelicans teams that is pretty safe to play him against. There he is in the lineup at 905 with his head down for the anthem. Let's see. There's OG celebrating 40 points on the Knicks with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. I'm very shocked about this. I'm actually very happy for OG getting 40-pointer. It's very cool. He's also celebrating Deuce McBride getting 1,000 career points, his teammate Miles. And yeah, OG's having a pretty good year so far. In some ways, I still don't understand the Knicks and their mix with getting Mikal Bridges. That was just overkill. And then Cat, I don't know if you got better in that deal. Man, you lost to DiVincenzo. And Julius, on some ways, was the heart and soul of your team. And I'm going to tell you right now, Cat is soft. And Cat is going to fuck y'all up when you need to count on him the most. Seriously, I'm going to say that right now, Knicks. I'm going to predict this for y'all, that y'all are going to hate Cat by the end of this year for some sort of reason. I'm going to say it right now. Slim Duck's got him blocking shots in practice, blocking the crap out of people. That's right. You go, Slim Duck. Respect the grind. There you go. You go on Chris there. Yeah, and he's also got Steve Harvey talking about when he was homeless and he was talking to God every day and how he got a home from talking to God. So yeah, Steve Harvey talking on Chris's Instagram. Y'all get chills watching this video on how God works. So Chris is really into his spirituality right now and really trusting in God that he has got him and he's going to get him through whatever's in front of him with adversity. That's right. Siakam's got that City Edition jersey on and the City Edition shoes. They're looking sweet and nice. I love those City Edition crazy blue and yellow Indiana stuff. And Bruno Fernando's got his dunk where he's dunking on beef stew from the last game we had. Yeah, that was a pretty impressive dunk. He came up behind him and threw it down over his head. That was pretty impressive, Bruno. That dunk on beef stew. There's the highlight afterwards. And there's Jacoby in the hotel lobby on his Instagram. Jamal Shed showing the picture of him walking off the court with Davion Mitchell from the game the other night against Detroit. Yeah, those guys are going to get it together. In some ways, we got to understand their player builds and what they're supposed to be doing out there and stop having unrealistic opinions of what Davion Mitchell should be doing in the games out there as far as things. In some ways, we can't count on him offensively. We just can't, y'all. In some ways, we need to play up his strengths, at least while Emmanuel's out. Emmanuel comes back, it'll fix a lot of things. And there's Mitchell posting a motivational speaker, keeping his head up. In some ways, I really do feel like Davion takes the criticism and the bullshit and absolutely feeds his fire and his want to go out and kick some more ass from hearing that kind of stuff. So there you go. There's your Instagram stories for today. I'll do the classic card in just a bit. Smooth saying New Orleans made moves to bring out the best in Zion and it's blown up in their face. I don't understand what New Orleans is doing exactly. I think that they've done really good with getting players like Murphy and Herb Jones and Alvarado. But then I don't understand the DeJounte move. I really don't understand that move. And CJ McCollum's not one of my favorite players. In fact, he's kind of a sellout to the league because of his union work and what he did to the middle class in the NBA. Yeah, I don't know. That team, there's some players on that team I really, really like. And then there's players on that team that just mystify me, like Zion. Zion just mystifies me. Like, what the hell is wrong with him, man? UC saying, some days I miss Fred, but we weren't going to pay him the max. Yeah. And G saying, like him or hate him, Fred is a winner. This is just the damn truth, man. In some ways, that's what I miss on our team is that guy who he gives a shit. You got to understand, once again, this may be one of the things that the Raptors fans need to understand the most in this world. There's success and failure in everything. And you're not going to be successful 100% of the time. And sometimes the failure is in your face. You people start shitting on these people. And it's not right. You know, Freddie could be the two extremes. A very extreme success, like last night, and a very extreme failure where he's even 0 with like 8 turnovers and misses all of his threes. That's why he's such a lightning rod, is people want dependability. They want the person to be like, oh, we're going to get this from them every night. Well, sometimes Fred just doesn't have it, or the matchup's not good, or he can't do this or that. And that's just how it's always been. And I love Fred. I think that Fred is one of the greatest Raptors of all time. And there's so much disrespect in our fan nation for him at times that it pisses me the fuck off. It really does. It really, really does. Fred is a winner. That is the truest thing said right there. Like him or hate him. That's right. I miss having Fred on our team. I feel like Fred could be a very good teacher to our young Raptors, just like what he's doing for the young Rockets right now. But $43 million for that? Nah. UC's exactly right. Our limit was $30 million. We would have paid Fred $30 million that summer, but that extra $13 million a year that the Rockets could give them in their salary cap situation was just enough to get him down there. And I don't blame Fred for that. He's going to take that money. That's a lot of money, and it's generational money for the Van Vliet family. And I can't get mad at him for that. He did everything right. He hasn't dissed our team. He hasn't dissed our city. He is still very much a Raptors alumni that's very good with us. Trust me, he really is. Jimmy's saying, I'm honestly upset at where Raptors culture is heading. Where's the loyalty and respect for our team? It's like it's disappeared over the years. I'm happy we have this space to be true Raps fans. I just wanted to make a space like this because it pisses me off too. I got fed up with this years ago. And more I was trying to fight the fight on social media, just in places with comments and talking to people and trying to educate them. But then at a certain point, a light bulb went off on my head during the pandemic. And I was like, dude, why don't you do a YouTube channel? And boom, it evolved into this. And I'm really happy that you're here, Jimmy, and that we have a place like this, because honestly, I don't want to get so cynical that I just think that everybody's an asshole. in this world. And finding other people that are like me with the way that they think about the team is just really good for my heart. It makes me feel more optimistic and happy. And I wish more people would take my reins and be like this more. I mean, I'm a little disappointed in Brian on To the Point, because in some ways, his channel can be toxic towards the team at times too. And I mean, it's just not necessary. We should be rooting for our team. There's enough basketball and analysis to just do coverage of the games and talk about plays. Be more like Blake Murphy and Oren Weisfeld and Samson Falk and break down plays. If you're so knowledgeable about basketball, why don't you start fucking talking about specific plays and how the Raptors could do better when they do this? Then I might listen to you more, your critics. If you actually have some constructive criticism to talk about and how we can get improved. But if you're just going to come out and shit on people just for the right to shit on people because you're on social media and you have a keyboard, yeah, fuck you. I don't have any time for you. You're not adding thing of quality. That's right. That's right. Randolph's here. Good morning to Randolph Phillips. Game day, blessings, beloved Raptor freaks, most informative gang. Nature reacts to nature. I like that. Its opinion is the spiritual. They are at odds with each other. So buffet your flesh and be led by the spirit. There's something really deep in what Randolph is saying here that's hitting me right now. I mean, as I look outside at the beautiful, beautiful nature outside my window, these beautiful trees, the fir trees still have their needles, but everything else has lost their leaves. Everything's in fall, and it's just rechanging the seasons, and it revigorates itself for the spring next year, collecting all the water, the snow, and the nutrients to get ready for next year. There's some things that are just true in the nature of nature. And in some ways, this manufactured world that we make with social media and all the distractions that are put out here is part of the problem, is that we're biological things, just like the squirrels, the plants, the trees, the birds. And we should get more in touch with that connection to that. That's the key to get back to things. I seen something on the internet yesterday saying nature doesn't need us to heal itself. It will heal itself on its own. And in fact, nature can heal us for what is wrong with us. And I believe hopefully at some point this will happen, whether we do it the way we're alive still or not. It will all even out. Cataclysm, crazy ass shit happening in this world where we wipe out ourselves because of climate change is very, very possible. And, we may go away just like the dinosaurs, but nature will persist and it'll be fine without us. So what is that thing about nature that's just so inherently true? Why can't we find that once again in ourselves and find it in that connection with nature? That's what I say about that. Thank you, Randolph, for your words of wisdom. And yeah, get in touch with nature because it's the truth. And in some ways, we've just manufactured a whole bullshit system of capitalism, money, and social media and internet that is not real or important. The real important things happen out there, and they're in little microtransactions with mycelium and trees and birds and seeds and all that kind of stuff. That shit matters way, way more than a lot of the made up shit that human beings have made up for themselves to fancy themselves and think they're more important in certain ways. It's so stupid. Leo's saying this morning: you don't drown by falling in water. You drown by staying there. So if you're in a drowning situation, get the fuck out of the water. That's what he's saying. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Randolph. Thank you, Trevor, for your words of wisdom. Blessings to the Phillips family and all the Raptor Freak families out there. Blessings, security, safety, wealth, happiness, prosperity for everyone out there. Wealth and nature. How about that? Fiercely saying Charles Barkley spit facts yesterday when Ernie mentioned LeBron was close to reaching another milestone. Chuck said MJ only played 14 to 15 years, but LeBron played much more to reach him. Yeah, this is true. There's nothing wrong with this. This is true. And it's kind of actually interesting that LeBron has, the scoring record makes sense. The guy has not been hurt that much, and he's played so long. To surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a huge, huge feat. Nobody ever thought that would happen. And a lot of people probably think nobody will ever pass LeBron, but I'll bet you somebody down the road will at some point. But yeah, this is true. Michael played like half the career that LeBron has played, pretty much, almost half. It's crazy. And then, that's something that has to be taken into account when comparing the two legends. Wayne's saying, haven't seen Darko's interview comments on Oshai. My first impressions are it's overblown. Darko is class, and he's not going to embarrass Oshai publicly. Lost to the Pistons, his team loss. Okay, I said this yesterday, and I don't want to mischaracterize things, Wayne. When I did the reaction to the Detroit game, and I said that Darko called out Oshai Abaji in the press conference. Basically, all he said was this: Oshai needs to be better. That's all he said. He didn't say anything like detrimental or mean or anything, but he did call him out. That's basically all he did. He said Oshai needs to be better because he got an offer and he didn't score any points for us against the Pistons. That's all he said. I don't want to mischaracterize it. When I said that he called him out, that's all he did. He said basically Oshai needs to be better. That's all he said. It wasn't anything like angry or anything like that. He just the reporter asked him about Oshai's performance against the Pistons, and he said Oshai needs to be better. That's all. That's all it was. It wasn't a big deal, and I wasn't trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. It's just that I wanted to explain that Darko does hold his players accountable, and that if somebody's not playing as well as they could be, he will tell them, "Yeah, I need more from you." And that's important because Raptors fans need to know that their coach is holding the players accountable. And that if they're not playing as well, he's going to be on them because they don't want him to just be a nice guy and be like, oh, dinner with Darko. Everybody's smiling. We're going to have a happy time. No, some Raptors fans are worried that Darko's too nice and he's not holding his players accountable to the point where they could be the best. And that's not true. He has sides to him. He can be very loving, doting, amazing coach, just like a dad. And then he can also be a very stern, kind of authoritative, kind of like, this is what I expect from you guys. And let's not get it twisted. Darko's able to be a coach to his superstars just as much as the bench players. Scotty and RJ and Emmanuel will listen to him just like any coach in their lives. And he can be a hard ass to them too. He doesn't have to pussyfoot around them. I'm telling you right now. Randolph's saying, Lex, I am enjoying the Raptors this year. Every game we win by the development in so many of our players, and they are doing they are playing competitive basketball. Next year we will play for the prize. Yeah, I don't know what the timetable is. I don't know what the timeline is. I'm not going to expect anything. In some ways, that's the freedom of this whole thing is don't expect anything right now, Raptors. Don't expect capture the flag. Don't expect to miss the playoffs. Don't expect to make the playoffs. Don't expect to get the number one pick. Don't expect this. Don't expect that. Don't expect the Raptors to be back to a winning ways in the next year or two. We just got to allow it to be what it is and let them cook. Let Darko cook with his developing and getting everything organized and built up over time. And the wins will come more and more as time goes on. If they don't, and we just sit in a bad place, well, then I'll talk about maybe Rojakovic should be fired. But I'm telling you right now, we got to allow him time to cook. In some ways, nothing in the NBA is built fast or quickly. Just ask the Sixers. And in some ways, you can ask the Nuggets. How long did it take them to get to their championship with Jokic and the core that they had? And how long that they invested in building those guys up as a group together to get to that championship for the Nuggets, the first ever championship in the NBA for them. They won ABA championships, but not any NBA until that one. I'm just saying. That's what you got to look at, Raptors fans, is what are the stories of success and how did they do it? They kept their cores together and they didn't make knee-jerk reactions, changing their underwear every day just for the sake of being like, oh, we need to change it. Oh, we need to change it. You get impatient. You change a team too often, too quick. You become the New York Knicks. And you had something good locked in last year, but you lost it over the summer because you went and over tinkered with it. Sometimes you just got to leave it alone. Stop fucking with it. Just let it cook and build. That's what I'm saying. That's what it is with us right now. And I have no expectations. If we win next year, I'll be delightfully happy. But also at the same time, if we have to have another year where things aren't exactly right, or if we start winning this year and we turn it on and we're actually in the playoffs this year, I'm ready for anything because I have no desired outcome for the season. Some Raptors fans do. And if they don't get exactly what they want, Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey, they're going to be pissed off. Well, y'all need to shut the fuck up and just stop trying to control this. Seriously, just let the Raptors be who they are and let's go for the ride and enjoy it with them. That's what you got to do as a Raptors fan these days. You can't be all, we need to win no matter what. There will be a time where we get back to that mentality. Trust me, there will. Carlos saying the way I see the Darko call out is that now Miss Oshai has graduated. Darko has now set a high bar for him. Yeah, I think it's just that he was completely over. Oshai does things on the defensive end no matter what. He's putting in that effort for sure. It's just that he was over. He didn't score a single damn point, and that's an aberration. Oshai could have scored 6 points, and he wouldn't have said jack shit about him. But because he had an offer as a starter with like 30 minutes on the court, that's a little bit of kind of like, yeah. And he does expect more from him now that he's seen him do more this year so far. He does for sure. UC saying, I'll always remember the day Embiid dropped the goose egg on us. Yeah, that was awesome. That's masterclass work by Marc Gasol, one of the greats of the NBA, a Raptors champion in 2019, the great Marc Gasol. Yeah, he had Joel's number. That was so fun to watch that matchup. In some ways, we made a lot of jokes around that time that Joel Embiid is haunted in his dreams by Marc Gasol. And that's probably true. It's probably true. He's like, oh, Marc Gasol. Oh, he's like waking up in a cold sweat. Trevor said, I think Scotty should go back to being the point forward because Scotty can eat down in the middle and RJ keep bringing the ball up. You know what, guys? You know I've been on the fence about Scotty's point guard stuff in the past. I've been very anti just saying Scotty should be the point guard. Like a lot of people have been very much, very big on that, and they're overly crazy about it. And I've been against it at times, but right now I'm not. I'm not against it right now. I think that Scott is our best option at starting point guard right now. And I think that we should start big today and put Scotty at the point guard. And RJ's the backup point guard just on the court in case it's not conducive for Scott to bring the ball up that time up the court. I think that with RJ and Scotty, that allows a flexibility to not have to start a point guard. Now, if they had a guard on the other side that was small and he's running around like crazy, like Elfrid Payton, maybe that is the matchup that's better because Davion's on that level and he can be that kind of negator. Now, if you're saying in the matchup, Payton versus Mitchell, who do you think can score more points tonight? I don't know. Maybe Davion can actually outscore Elfrid Payton tonight because Elfrid Payton is kind of more a distributor at this point in his NBA career. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm not against Scotty point guard right now. I think that he's graduated to a certain level of poise in what he's doing on the court, that I'm not seeing as many young mistakes with his passing, that I feel more confident in allowing Scott to be the primary ball handler and distributor on this team now. But I didn't feel it 2 years ago when everybody was crying for it over and over again. That's the thing. There's a logical progression to people's careers and getting better and what their responsibilities and duties should be. And I'm okay with this now. I think Scotty point guard is a fantastic idea tonight. Totally think it's a fantastic idea. Yeah. Let's see. Stargate saying that's why I don't really go into Zazu spaces much anymore. He lets any and everybody, fans from other teams, up into space to say anything they want about the Raptors. Well, that's in some ways part of what I carved out here is we don't want to disrespect this team. And fans that can't be respectful from other teams that come in here, well, they get kicked out. We have fans from other teams that come and frequent our channel from time to time. Knicks freak, Milbester, Sixers fans. We've had Celtics fans. We've had fans from a lot of different Eastern teams. And, as long as they can talk ball and we can talk in a respectful way, there's been no problem with us getting along. But if Zazu Spaces is allowing toxic fans from other nations to come in and just shit on our team in our own space, well, that's not a space I want to be in either. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. In some ways, I feel like if Zazu Spaces is like juvenile, it's a little bit immature. There's a lot of like immature voices in there, just idiots that don't really know. And we're kind of a senior group here. We're an older group. Our age pyramid here, we do have younger people like Bryce and other youngsters that are around our channel. But for the most part, we're an older cohort of fans that have been Raptors fans for like decades. And, that's part of the difference there, too, is that we're the old guard and we're kind of the more mature, knows more, been around and seen that more kind of than a lot of those people in other spaces are probably people that became fans around the championship and they really fucking don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Seriously, I'd tell any fan, if you've been a fan of the Raptors after the championship, when you came in after they won, you don't know jack shit about the NBA. And you shouldn't be telling the Raptors how to do things because you weren't there with them when they were climbing up with DeMar and Kyle to go through all the steps and the failure that got us to the 2019 thing. You only came in and reaped the spoils of the happiness of the huge parade and the woo, we're champions. Ooh, that felt so good. I want it again. And now I'm mad they're not doing it exactly right. So I get pissed and I'm overly critical. Yeah, that's where a lot of these people are, honestly, as far as what I've detected, is that they're just more newer fans and they really don't know what the fuck they're talking about, honestly. Stargate saying Raptors fans cannot go into other team spaces and talk about their teams the way they're allowed to talk about ours. We're too nice up here and people take advantage of that. I don't know. They come in here, they get it. Oh yeah, they get it here. We know that, Stargate. That's the thing. Maybe in some other places, Zazu's being too nice. Say, come on in, Rick James. Get your fucking muddy feet all over my couch and fucking cuss me out. Yeah, real nice to have you here. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I ain't doing that. No, somebody gonna do that in here. They know what happens. They get a Jim Cornette promo cut on them, and then they get booted out the door. That's just how it goes right there. Trevor J saying, did you guys know Jalen Brunson is the godson of the New York Knicks owner? He's the godson of James Dolan. Well, I could see that being possible because of Rick Brunson's connection to the New York Knicks franchise, being an assistant coach and being a Knick in the past. So it could very well be. I mean, that in some ways, I don't really care about this. This is kind of like Doc Rivers is Seth Curry's father-in-law, kind of shit. It is what it is. But I mean, that may have been something that could have told people that, yeah, he's probably going to leave Dallas to go to New York. That may have been the indicator right there. Smith saying there's a third year team option on Fred VanVleet's contract. Do the Rockets exercise it? I think they do. I think that they've seen good results with him. I don't know. It's not up to the fans. Fuck the fans. If some of the fans are like, yeah, no, we don't want him back again next year. I think that Ime Udoka wants him back. I think that may be the most important person that should want him back is the coach. And then the other young players, Sengun probably wants him back. I think that Sengun probably wants him back. So, I mean, the people that matter in this situation are probably like, yeah, we want Fred back. Dylan Brooks probably, yeah, man, Fred's my guy. I want Fred back. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, it may be still good money for him, considering everything and their salary cap and way they're doing things. I think that the Rockets will exercise it. You Smooth, as an old historic Rockets fan, what do you think as far as things? Are you paying attention to Freddie's Odyssey and the Rockets closely just because of your affinity for that franchise in the past? I would like to know. Maybe you could be our little expert on the Rockets as far as Fred VanVleet and this possibly happening. Do you feel like the water is cool for him to do this and stick around for next year on his extension? I think it is. I think he's done great. Smooth saying, I have respect for Fred and his Raptors legacy, but I don't hold him in the same regard as I do Lowry and DeRozan and Pascal. He was a very businesslike in his approach. That rubbed me the wrong way. Fred VanVleet was show me the money and I'll play for you. Yeah, I know. Some people really didn't like that whole summer, but in some ways, you know what? I really feel like some of it is just jealousy. That, here's this guy that made his life into something undrafted where he's making $40 million a year. And in some ways, I don't know. I don't say that you're like this, Smooth, but a lot of the anti-Fred stuff, in some ways, I feel like it's just that they don't like him because in some ways he has a certain confidence in himself that's unshakable. It started when he was a 12-year-old and he saw online people talking trash about him, how he's never going to be any good. And he had to learn that, people's opinions are going to be really mean and nasty, but he's going to be a bulletproof from them. And in some ways, people get mad when people don't react to them dissing them and being toxic towards them. In some ways, that infuriated Pensair people and people that were anti-Fred when he was on our team more and more, because Fred was just like, I don't give a shit what y'all are going to say. And he was a badass like that. I can see why you're tearing him. I would say that he's with Siakam. Now, I would say if there's a tier of the greatest Raptors of all time, Lowry and DeRozan are in their own tier above everybody else. Then the second tier is Pascal and Fred underneath them. That's my opinions. I don't totally celebrate Vince Carter in the way that everybody else does because of his exit and the very long history of him being, op to the Raptors nation. And, Kawhi one time here, Chris Bosh, he took off on us. So in some ways, I have Freddie in that 4, but with Siakam on the same level in some ways. And I mean, everybody's got their own views on how they have it and stuff like that. But yeah, I just think that it's important that we honor these guys that were absolutely loyal and fantastic. Somebody say Fred wasn't loyal to us. Yes, he was. He was totally loyal to us, and he still is. It's just that the pay and the money and the way things just naturally evolved in the NBA and people's careers got him to this point in the road where he had to go to Houston. And I'm not mad at him for this. If you were in that situation, Smooth, and you had to choose a huge amount of money or this, I would have probably taken that huge amount of money also, even though it was leaving a place that he very much loved and he still loves to this day. So, I mean, I don't have any problem with Fred with what he did. In fact, I think he did it very tactfully And he could have done it in a lot of worse ways. He could have said some stupid out of pocket shit about our city and our team. Since then, he has not. So he has all the respect in the world, and he honors his legacy with the Raptors, his championships with his Raptors, his accomplishments with the Raptors, his being an all-star for the Raptors. He honors all of that. He doesn't shit on it, and he doesn't ignore it either. If people bring it up, he will say, Toronto is so special to me. It's so important to me what happened there, and I will always have those memories, and that city is always going to mean so much to me. That's all I ask for. I can't be unrealistic and think we're going to collect all our Raptors and just keep them on our team forever. You can't do that. The NBA is a business, and it's shifting all the time. And Fred did everything right as far as the way he left. In fact, kudos to him, man. He got $43 million a year. That is badass. In some ways, if you told me when Fred VanVleet showed up on our team undrafted in his first year, struggling just on the 905, just trying to get on the main roster, that he'd be a $43 million man, I would be like, there's no way. And he is. That's the crazy thing. And that's why he deserves a documentary on him. Because in some ways, his story in some ways is one of the greatest NBA stories in the history of the league. And some people just do not want to look at it that way. Some people just look at him, oh, he's just a midget who chucks shots. Yeah, that's very disrespectful. And that is not true. This dude is a baller and he's a winner, as somebody pointed out earlier. That's right. Stargate saying, you're doing a great job on this channel, Lex, staying positive, constructively critical, and objective. Unfortunately, the negative spewing channels outnumber ones like this and have louder mouths. Yeah, and they may have more reach, but that's why I'm a little oasis in the desert of all this. And I'll be that. I feel like it's important and it's necessary. And that's why I continue to do this every day, is because I feel like it's important and necessary. And hopefully MLSC, Masai, and the Raptors appreciate me to some degree for what I'm doing on this channel. I don't expect anything from them. I don't want a job. I don't want money. I don't even care if they acknowledge me. I just want to be something that's making a difference in a positive way for them. That's all I want. That's all I want right there. All right, let's keep going. Wayne's saying fans are allowed to be toxic per se, but if fans are making stuff up in order to have something to whine about, then fuck them. We have a team on the upturn. It's kind of ridiculous to be explaining. Yeah, I mean, this is just the way the world's warping right now. The perception of reality is really getting fucked up right now, and it's seeping into every kind of aspect of life. Sports is one of them, and that's the thing. Once you decide that truth doesn't matter anymore, and that it's just whatever the person in charge wants to think, and he's going to tell us what everybody else is supposed to think, that's where things get real dangerous. That's why I say this is a cult that's going on down there. It's a cult of personality, and the personality is deranged and a misogynist and a racist and just not a good person in general. He's a con artist and a thief. And in some ways, when he sets the tone for what reality is going to be and the media is complicit with following him up, then things get real scary and weird. And that's why we need to hold our ground on what we know is right and what is true and resist. And once again, in some ways, hopefully we can have some sort of semblance of truth and reality in this ever increasing AI world. It's absolutely fake and fucked up the way we're going in the direction we're going. That's the crazy thing right there. Right there. And yeah, making shit up. Nobody has any scruples anymore. It's not like the media cares about being truthful or honest anymore. So why the fuck would people on social media care about being honest or truthful with what they're saying? Seriously. This is like the media is not even giving a shit about getting the facts straight or anything. It's bought and paid for at this point. Smooth saying good for him, but it was a time for a change. IQ and RJ better and tougher. Yeah, good for OG. Good for Fred. Good for Pascal. I'm proud of our former Raptors. They're excelling on their new teams, and they're badasses, and we can celebrate their victories with them as alumni of our team. There's nothing wrong with that. And yes, the shift in the Raptors team had to happen. It was difficult and it was a little uncomfortable last season, the wedgie season. It was a lost season in some ways because of the shift, but it had to happen. And in some ways, we can't get mad at people like Siakam and Fred and OG going off to other teams right now. It's just a natural progression in the NBA and changes and things. And we needed to start growing our new crops in our garden. In some ways, the old plants had grown to their growth potential with us, and they needed to go to new places. And we got to plant the seeds for the new plants that are growing up right now. And they're very, very young. and we can't get ahead of ourselves and mess up the garden while we're still growing these great new young prospects and plants that we got. People like Shamshay, and continuing to go with Scott as our franchise player. Kareem saying it smooth. His time was up. The tide had changed in Toronto. If he was offered the same amount in Toronto as he did in Houston and accepted it, he would be doing a disservice. I respect Fred on all accounts. Yeah. In some ways, we didn't want, you know what? The writing was on the wall. In some ways, the fit just wasn't there anymore. In some ways, it just wasn't going to happen. And there's no way we would have matched the $43 million. Now, let's just say that Houston wasn't in that situation with their salary cap and having to eat it up all of a sudden after short paying their team for a long time. Really crazy strategy they did. If they could only do 30 and he had chosen to stay here, in some ways I would have been okay with it myself personally, but I think a lot of Raptors fans would have been like sick of it, and they would have been still just as toxic and crazy as they've been in the last year of him being around on our team. So in some ways it was nice to move on, partly because some of the toxicity around our team moved on away with him. The fans particularly is what I'm saying. I'm not saying Fred was toxic. I'm saying the fans and the way they treated Fred was very toxic. Yeah. Stargate saying, unfortunately, negativity and controversy get more attention in this degrading society. Yeah, it's too bad. People are getting activated by fear and hate right now. And that was really the biggest driver of getting people to vote for fuckface Trump down there. They did a really good job of reaching out to disaffected young males like incels. The MAGA bro phenomena was really disgusting and gross. They preyed on prejudices and discrimination of people thinking, people that hate black people or people that hate immigrants, people that hate trans people, anybody that hates somebody, they preyed on those emotions with those people, and they activated them through them. In some ways, that's how they manipulate, is through hate and fear. They want you to fear immigrants coming to take your jobs or raping your people. They want you to hate black people because they're black people, and you're racist white person. You just hate black people. They want you to be disgusted with trans people and make them more of a bullseye in front of everybody and make a big deal out of them, when in some ways they just want equal rights and to be left alone. They don't really want to mess with your lives or anything like that, but they wanted to make them the boogeyman. So they made them even, and that motivated more people to come out there because they were biased and racist and transphobic. It really is disgusting how the voting base for that side was activated by fear and hate. And that's what they come from. That's what they come from right there. It sucks. Smooth saying, I'm not dumping on Fred. Let me be clear on that. Just my opinion. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, in some ways, that summer was weird when Fred took the money with Houston. In some ways, it felt like a knife in the back. I get what you're saying. Adriana loves Fred, and that was really, really hard for her when he chose Houston. We had just gotten her a new Fred jersey, and there's a lot of sentimental attachment to him. And in some ways, that is part of my hurt from it. But I'm over it. In some ways, I'm just glad he's doing good where he's at, and we're doing what we're doing separate. I don't think that you're against Fred, but I get what you're saying. In some ways, his attitude, his show me the money, kind of like Cuba Gooding Jr. There was a bit of that summer, for sure. But in some ways, you guys say he deserved it. He earned it. He worked his ass off to get to that point, to be able to get a contract like that. And I'm not going to hate him on that for that. So, all right, excuse me. Sorry, I had a water break. Let's see. Brian's here. Oh, what's up, Brian? What's up, Freak Nation? Hope y'all enjoyed my latest video. I like most of it. I agree with Coach Roach on some of the stuff. Like, he was saying something about Jakob being too much of the hub and Scotty should be getting the ball in his hands more. And I kind of like what he was saying there. I think that there could be a little bit more. Like, I would like to see Darko switch Jakob out of that big hub at the high post and put Scotty in that position for a little while and see how that works. Of course, to do that, they're going to need Jakob probably to be out of the game and sitting on the bench. But with Yak in the game, he's great for that. And Coach Roach has a good point about like setting screens and where are the screens for like Grady Dick. I watched y'all's content, and in some ways you guys were really good, really, really good. I don't like him kind of coming after Darko a little bit in that. There was a little bit of that going on in your content, but Coach Roach and beyond, they've been critical of our front office and our coach at times, and it's fine. At least he comes from an educated background in his opinions, and he makes sense of what he's trying to say about things. So yeah, I watched it yesterday. It was good stuff, Brian. Good stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really believe the Raps can get their first road win tonight. Let's go. I'm with you on that, King. I'm really with you on that. I think that tonight is going to be the night where we finally get a W in the road column. We need to get it. We need to get it. This is taking too long, and other people talking trash to our team because of it, and that's no good. It's Wayne saying, didn't see the stream yesterday. I'm referring to headlines on other sites. I ain't clicking them. That's why I said it seems overblown on my first glance. Didn't hear your report. Nothing, Burger. Oh, okay. Yeah, I brought it up yesterday, and you didn't watch yesterday, so it's not anything I said. So you're just saying you're seeing people saying that Darko threw him under the bus. Well, this is the way things are now. It's like a little kernel of truth, and they just expand and blow it up into a weird place that's just overblown. And I think that's what this is. Some people are just like interaction merchants, and they get interaction by pissing people off or using fear or hate once again. And in some ways, if they write a headline that gets you a reaction like you're saying here. You said you didn't even click on it. You just saw the headline. Well, that's clickbait. That's the epitome of clickbait, preying on the emotions of loyal Raptors fans like yourself. And click this and hear why Darko threw Oshai under the bus. They once again, they made the headline sound worse than the actual event, which I explained just now. Is Darko said, yeah, Oshai's got to do better. That's all he said. It's not like he threw him under the bus like a Nick Nurse threw Gary Trent Jr. under the bus or Chris Boucher under the bus in past years. No, there wasn't anything like that. And Nick Nurse has thrown Sixers under the bus even in the last year since he's been their coach. No, it wasn't like that. It was friendly, and it was just matter of fact. And the reporter in some ways baited for it because they said, well, what did you think about Oshai with the 0 points tonight? And, or Darko said Oshai needs to be better. That's all it was. It's interesting. Oh, I don't like to see. This is what I'm saying. They take a little seedling of one little thing, and they expand it into worse and worse, and they try and get reactions. And it's not true. This is like Aaron Rose kind of shit. Aaron Rose will do this kind of shit. Yeah, and the papers will do it too. Doug Smith's not above doing this kind of shit. And, Grange for sure. Oh, yeah, he'll do it. Kareem saying, Fred VanVleet, the businessman, or Fred, the undrafted player, he overachieved in every aspect. Shit, he even goes after refs and calls them out on their bullshit. And that's like philanthropy, honestly. Fred needs to be examined. He's too real. We don't get this in 2024. In 2024. That's why I love Fred, is because in some ways, that's something about like in a world that's becoming more and more inauthentic. People are being more fake to each other's faces. They're not being real. When you get somebody who's real, and it can even cause them detriments, like Fred getting fined for being real like that, you really get into it. It's why Charles Barkley is so popular. It's because he's real. In some ways, y'all like me because I'm real. In this world, you need real. And Freddie is definitely real. And some people don't like Fred partly because of that, because they can't be real in their own lives. They're inauthentic in their own lives, and they see somebody who's real and at that level and what they're doing, and they're like, fuck that guy. I hate him, man, because he reminds me of all the ways that I'm a fake-ass, punk-ass bitch. How about that right there? Yeah. Kareem saying, Arish Shamshay will get a double-double tonight with 5 blocks, bucket and book it. That's against Maine Celtics. Yeah, hopefully you'll do that. I like that. I want to see Shamshay continue to get better and better stat lines. The things that I look for in his stat lines are rebounds and blocks, and then field goal percentage. I don't give a shit about threes. I do care about his free throw shooting also. But yeah, the really hidden awesome bonus of Shamshay so far is his assists. We're seeing great playmaking from him in recent games where he's looking for his teammates and setting them up too. So that's a cool thing. That's a really good harbinger for his later career, that already Shamshay has an eye for passing and he's setting people up. And that's something that I wouldn't have totally guessed coming in, that he would actually already be advanced with his playmaking at this point. So this is good. This is good. I'm all about it, Kareem. Double-double for Shamshay tonight? How about a double-double in rebounds and blocks? I want to see that, man. Smith saying, as a legacy Rockets fan, I want him back. His leadership and effect on the team is the reason they have a direction. Boom goes the dynamite. That's it right there. You can't shepherd the sheep without the shepherd. And in some ways, that Rockets team was so young and green and not knowing what the fuck they were doing. I was saying this in previews for them in years past. This team is really talented in some ways, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't have any fundamentals. They don't have any guidance. They don't have any leadership. And boom, they went and got Fred, and they have it now for the last 2 years. And it's been a huge game changer for their win-loss record. So, yeah, I think any wise Rocket fan is very much for Rockets keeping Fred next year. I think they are. I think they are for sure. In fact, their team was a royal mess before he got there. Exactly. You can give some of the credit to people like M.A. Udoka too. Dylan Brooks to an extent. Steven Adams comes in this year and he helps solidify a veteran presence on that team. Even Jeff Green to a lower extent on that team too. They just needed a veteran presence and a coach that kept them accountable. And they did all that offseason when they brought in Udoka and Van Vliet. And that they're getting way better results, and they're growing now, and they're coming up. Before they were just sitting around, messing around with James Harden and a bunch of kids, and with no kind of direction, what the fuck they were doing, and having some of the worst seasons in Rockets history during that time. Yeah. Wayne saying, has the ETA on Bruce Brown been upgraded? As each player returns, I'm counting 3 or 5 win ratio. Strangely, I look forward to Bruce's return more than Kelly. Yeah, I am too right now. Because I think it is imminent. It's not going to be tonight, though. They've already ruled them out for tonight. It's the next time will be Miami on Friday, and that may be very likely. I think that Bruce will return Friday night. That's what we're thinking right now, Wayne. That's what it seems like. Let's see. Trevor's saying Miami NBA Cup court and the Suns court have 24-second time clock in the middle of the free throw line. Yeah, I don't understand this. What's going on with the shot clocks in the NBA? This is such a topic right now. This is such a weird controversies around shot clocks right now. It's like, get this shit figured out, y'all. Seriously. Mischief saying, I feel sorry for black people with all the racist countries that don't accept black people. There's a lot of countries that don't accept them for their features. It's all cosmetic. This is true. Like, there's an underlying like racism in a lot of different countries in the world, and it goes different ways in different places and different in different population percentages in different places. But yeah, it is what it is. And anybody who doesn't believe in the idea of the concept of privilege, you're kidding yourself. You're absolutely kidding yourself. Privilege is a real thing, and it's very much being more ensconced as we become more and more of a billionaire oligarchy in North America. And the privilege for billionaires in the 1% is absolutely insane, where they can just buy their government and get whatever they want. In some ways, Doug Ford's strong-arming Ontario Place is a symbol of this. It doesn't matter what the people want. It's what he wants with his developers and his sweetheart deals and making money. That's the problem. That's ultimate privilege right there, that you can take public lands from the public and sell them out for your own financial gain. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a really, really high level billionaire privilege at this point. Some people say, oh, they have the money. They're supposed to have that privilege. Bullshit. There's certain things they're doing. Like, should they be able to buy human beings like Jeffrey Epstein and like traffic them behind the scenes? Because honestly, a lot of the things that people are blaming certain people for, the very ultra rich are the ones who are actually doing this shit. They're talking about sex trafficking and trafficking young women for sex. The billionaires are the ones that are hiding this and getting away with this at the highest level. Seriously, let's not get this twisted. What rich people are the ones who can afford to buy human beings. Trust me. And does that sound dark as fuck? Well, understand it's actually a reality. You think it's fucking full of shit? Well, Jeffrey Epstein is an exact example of this. You don't think people like Jeff Bezos could fucking pay to have somebody murdered and none of us would ever find out about it? Seriously, we got to talk about privilege and just how fucking unequal privilege is from the very bottom to the very, very top at this point. It's crazy at this point. That's right. Kareem's saying at Mischief, don't feel bad for us black people. We've learned to navigate. It's not easy, but we're managing. I feel sorry for natives of North America. Shit, they still finding kids in unmarked graves from schools. This is the thing that's the fucked up thing about our society, and what's getting worse is that everything that happens has a reverberation throughout the generations. And all of the things like Trail of Tears, residential schools is part of the reason why there's higher alcoholism in native populations in Canada and the United States. In some ways, people say, oh, get yourselves back together. Well, they're still mourning in the pain of the travesties and the horrific subjugation of different things from their past generations. Pain body is passed down in DNA. And all the pain and misery that's being put in Gaza right now is going to reverberate throughout history. And this is why they think, oh, you're going to just make more terrorists. Because, yeah, because you do this to people, it inflicts pain body on their pain DNA. And they don't forget. And in some ways, it's like violence and all this stuff does not help anything. We need to heal. We need to heal. And I would hope that at some point the world could get to a place where there's a equilibrium of not putting more pain in the account of pain and violence and subjugation and fucked up shit like slavery and all kinds of stuff. The pain body of slavery lives on in African and Canadian Americans. I mean, African Americans and Canadian African Americans, or African and Canadians. I don't know how to say that exactly. Sorry. But I'm just saying that, like, sometimes if you just feel like an overwhelming sense of sadness, or sometimes that could be actually from your DNA and your ancestors, and you didn't even know it. Seriously, this is something that is not talked about enough, that the evil that men do lives on, and it lives on through the times over times. And that's the sad, fucked up thing. But this is a great story that Kareem's telling me. It's like we find a way and we navigate and we make the best of what's going on and we try to heal more and more. That's all anybody wants to do in this world. But when there's war in Ukraine, there's genocide in Gaza, you're just giving more and more in the account of the pain body of DNA in this world that's going to go forward after this. And that's sad. That's fucked up. That is fucked up. In some ways, if we were a just and right society, a wealthy, civilized society, we would be healing and fixing things for everybody. Instead, we're putting more people out in parks and tents because of inequality in wages. And we're scaring the hell out of immigrant children so that they have more mental problems and depression than the average child, because they're worried their parents are going to get deported by a fuckface who just won the election in the United States. We got to think about all the implications here and what is for humans and what isn't. And this is a lot of the shit that we're doing right now, and the people that are in charge is not right. It's not right. War crimes for Benjamin Netanyahu, for sure. War crimes for Vladimir Putin, for sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. There you go. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. There you go. Stargate saying, don't feel sorry for us. Just try your best to replace the system of racism, white supremacy, with a system of justice. That's all. Exactly. And that's why I stand with this. As a white man, I could easily be like, oh, you're attacking me because you're saying that we're a racist society. There's systemic racism. You're attacking me. I don't feel attacked. This is just the damn truth. It's true. If I'm being honest with myself and I'm honest about society, there's systemic racism built into all the pillars of our society in capitalism the way we are right now. And all we can do is try and do better, and at least try and be honest, be real like Fred, and talk about it in a real way, in an honest way, because that's the only way we can make it better. But in some ways, some people want to disregard it. They feel like they're being attacked in some ways. Look, your ego is the one that's getting attacked. You can't be perfect in your life. You think you're perfect in your own mind, but listen, and maybe if you didn't even have anything to do with this systemic racism or setting up, you perpetuate it because you uphold it as the status quo. And that's what I say to those people that think, oh, I didn't have anything to do with slavery. I didn't have anything to do with residential schools. Well, you are part of the legacy of the status quo that's purported it and continues to this day. And that's why I reject it all. I say there's reparations. I say that we give conciliation to the residential school issue and the natives of this country that were here before anybody came here as explorers. So, yeah, it's a crazy thing. In some ways, we got to think about, be real about the systemic racism and the weird system that we're in, that we fight so hard to keep, that is absolutely fucked up and unjust. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, G saying, if Fred stayed, the way the team's direction changed, he most likely would have been traded and would have taken much less. Businesses for both sides. Yeah, I think he probably would have been traded. He just doesn't fit with what we're doing right now. There's no room for Shed and what we're doing right now with him around. In some ways, IQ, I like the progression of going from Fred to IQ. It's just something natural. Fred had a very nice career and time here, and it's just a natural time to switch things around. Trevor's saying, it looks like on the court, a digital shot clock in the floor, middle of the free throw line. That's crazy. That's so weird. Kareem saying, I advise everyone to watch the Flower Moon movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, Flower Moon. That's just come out recently. All right. Remnants of colonialism. Yeah, genetic trauma. Great movie, Kareem. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check that out for sure. That's the thing. In art, we get our lessons and the stories told. And in some ways, we need things like Star Wars. We need things like the Flower Moon to teach us about very important things about society. We need to learn our lessons from history, and in some ways we're not right now. In some ways they've realized dumbing down the masses with taking funds away from education, making them stupider. They're easier to control like sheep through fear and hatred, and that is the game plan that won in the United States this month in the election. And that sucks, man. That sucks. All right, let's do the classic card. All right, let's go see what the classic card is today. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, this is fun. We've had some pretty easy ones lately. Let's see what y'all think. Classic card. I'm not going to show it too close, or should I? Should I bring it in closer? I don't want y'all to see who it is too easy. Full name answer. First person to write the full name will get the classic card points. This is too easy, man. This is too easy. Let's see. Yep. You missed a D, but I'll give you your former Houston Rocket. That is Clyde Drexler. Man, you both spelled it all crazy. What's spell correct doing to the word Clyde right now? What is that? What is that? Oh my gosh. Yeah, 100 points to Smooth. He got it. It is 100 points for Smooth. That is probably the greatest Portland Trailblazer ever. Sorry, Dame Lillard. You fucked that up. It's Clyde Drexler, the greatest Portland Trailblazer ever in the history of the franchise. He took them to the finals and lost, but he did take them to the finals, and he was the second banana to Michael Jordan as the second best shooting guard in the league for all those years, pretty much. So, yeah, Clyde Drexler, 100 points to Smooth on the classic card of the day. Yeah, I will call him the greatest Trailblazer of all time. It could have been you, Damian Lillard, but you had to go and take off and go to Milwaukee and mess up your perfect time out there. You were Mr. Blazer, but it's gone. It's gone. You left, and you kind of screwed that up, man. 100 points to Smooth. There you go. I like it. All right, let's see what else y'all are saying. Kareem saying, Jewish people, Chinese received reparations. We're still waiting for ours, laugh out loud. 40 acres and a mule. Yeah, that was that company, the movie company. Spike Lee. It wasn't a Spike Lee or somebody like that. Maybe a Singleton or somebody. But yeah, I mean, reparations, arguments over that, the one of the ways that they have kind of gotten back for this, Kareem, you'd be surprised, is there's been bills that came out actually during the Biden administration where they were focused on African-American farmers that have been overlooked with farm loans. And this is part of the systemic racism that, in the South, if you were a black farmer, you didn't get financial aid in the ways from the government like other farmers did that were white. And this has been a total fucked up systemic racist thing that they did. They gave all kinds of farm grants to white farmers, and the bank would deny the black farmers over and over again. So what happened was Biden and Harris in their administration in the last 4 years, and I think there may be some of this happened before with Obama too. They overcompensated by coming back around to the black farmers and giving them more money because of the historic unfairness in doling out farm funds to help farmers in what they try and do. So there, in some ways, I see that area because I know there were a lot of black farmers around Tallahassee where I grew up that were just really struggling and stuff like that. And like I said, they go into the banks and ask for these loans or this help from the government, and they would be denied. And it would be purely because of their race, honestly. Purely because of their race. And this is all very well documented what I'm talking about. I'm not full of shit by saying this. So I like that they overcompensated in that way, saying, well, we didn't give you the money back then, but you know what? We're going to come and dump it on you right now. Boom. Here's a bunch of it. All of a sudden that you should have been getting all along, but we had racist people doling out the farm funds. Yeah. Yeah. That's one example of, I've seen that there's been a little bit of kind of like trying to make up for things. So we're saying something about Wendy Williams. Did Wendy Williams pass away, or is she in trouble? She's not doing well. Prayers out to Wendy Williams. I'll do that. Trevor's saying, I guess Donald Trump is going out with his promise on deportation. They just show a place in Texas, a concentration camp, going to keep all the people. Yeah, this is really bad because, like I said, Young young people are going to be scared and have mental health problems, and families will be separated. Some of the necessary essential workers that drive the economy in the United States will be missing all of a sudden, and there's all kinds of hidden problems from doing this plan. It's really kind of crazy, and in some ways, it's just him playing the Nazi of playbook. He can't. He's just substitute Jewish people for immigrants, and that's what he's doing. It's very much all the same stuff. That's why I feel like people are so stupid that are on that side. You are the side with swastikas. You are very plainly that. And everybody who try to poo-poo, oh, that's not the right kind of comparison. Well, we're going to find out. You're going to find out it is exactly the right comparison. And with the USA being the center of this, who the fuck is going to come and fix things here like the US and all the allies did in World War II? That's what I wonder about. Is there some sort of world where NATO and the European powers and maybe even Russia and some of the other countries come and fix the fucking totalitarian fucked upness about Donald Trump on this country? It's crazy. He's opening things up for all kinds of weird shit. Whereas, like, it could be really bad. There's a couple of roads we could go down that could be really, really bad in some ways. Kareem's saying, oh my God, I'm like 45 seconds behind on the stream and I didn't realize it. Smooth, you lucky mofo. He got in there before you. This is a real dogfight between Kareem and Smooth Brown Man for the classic card points right now. There's very close at the top there. Very, very close. Let's see. Kareem saying, I think free education for 100 years should bring us up to speed. We've had free education, but it's not invested in. And in some ways, it's not the best it could be. We don't value it enough. We value having bombs and being able to be the military might around the world. Whereas, like, if we diverted half the money we're spending on the military to education, homelessness, all kinds of different things, we could solve a lot of problems real fast. There's a whole bunch of money being paid to in the medical industry, paid to people that are in the middle that are just rackets people, making money off the lifeblood of the society, the pain and misery of having medical problems. Half of the money that the government pays for the medical industry goes towards like people that are just in the middle of it, just getting a pinch of it. They did a single payer system. They'd cut all these motherfuckers out and we'd actually save money. There's leeches in the middle. It's so crazy the way money is diverted. There's so much money out there, but it's sitting in billionaires' bank accounts offshore, being untaxed, and none of it's coming to education or healthcare, and a lot of it's going to the military. So it's crazy. We really have horrible values in what we think is important as human beings. And in some ways, we will get what we get because of this. We will get what we get in the end as a whole. Let's see. Smooth saying she has dementia and is medically incapable according to her caregiver. That's sad. I hate hearing that about Wendy Williams. This has been happening to different people over time. Bruce Willis has got aphasia, and he's not the same person that he used to be. We know that Jack Nicholson has dementia. He's pretty far along with it. We just found out this week. I was sad to hear this. That Dan Rather's wife died this week. So prayers and condolences to the great newscaster Dan Rather on the passing of his beloved wife. That's sad, man. That is sad. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I mentioned Clyde Drexler last week and was stuck in a meeting, missed the classic card. There you go. Yeah, Clyde was the classic card today. Yeah, Clyde the Glide, man. This dude was awesome, man. He had a middle-aged hairline, but he had a 20-year-old's hops. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure, yeah. Kareem saying, sorry for getting political. I blame mischief. No, we do that. In some ways, it's not as bad as it's been on this channel, and I'm not that upset. We're almost done. I'm going to try and wrap it up right at 2 hours, guys. Kareem saying, Raptors on the road to 68-14. Okay. That doesn't seem right. Carlos saying, millions of immigrants voting for mass deportations. Please make it make sense. Yeah, the country of the United States is pretty much immigrant country. It's just, okay, now we've had enough. All right, nobody else come in. Or it depends on where you're coming from. If you're coming from a white country and you're white, yeah, come on in. But if you're Arab or if you're coming from a Hispanic country south of us, no, we don't want you. It's crazy, man. It's hypocritical, honestly. As an immigrant myself, my family's immigrated in past generations just above me. I understand just how much immigration is good for everybody. And the horror stories of the boogeyman of different things, the right wing portrays in Europe and in North America is just utilizing on fear. Once again, that's the general statement right there. It's messed up, man. And some people are dumb. They voted for Trump, and now they're going to pay for it. And they're going to find out, and they're going to be like, "Holy shit! Why did I vote for him? I'm a dummy. I'm so stupid." They said that the day after that, the week after, there were a lot of Google searches for how do I change my vote. This is how stupid Americans are right now. That they were Googling how to change their vote after voting for Trump and realizing he was going to raise prices on groceries and do all this union busting and fucking do all these horrible things like give huge wealth tax breaks to the wealthy. He's the worst person. They fooled everybody and said he's a common guy. He's for you guys. No, he is Mr. Burns, and he's going to be looking out for all the rest of the Mr. Burns out there, you dumbasses. Googling how to change your vote after the fact. Idiots, man. Idiots. Trevor's saying, I have a friend. He is scared. I'm going to get him to hook up with a girl and to get married. Yeah, I mean, seriously. Somebody's get your shit in order because shit may be going crazy soon in different ways. All right, let's do a recap real quick, run through it. The Raptors have the injuries. They're pretty much the same from Monday. Bruce Brown is not going to return tonight. He'll probably return on Friday. Grady Dick is out once again. Emmanuel Quickley, Kelly Olynyk, DJ Carton, all out. On the other side, New Orleans, holy crap, who isn't hurt? Trey Murphy, questionable. Herbert Jones, out. Jordan Hawkins, questionable. Brandon Ingram, questionable. DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, Jose Alvarado, all out. The referees tonight for the 9:05 game first, Pat O'Connell, Jenna Renault, and Paul Toomey. For the Raptors game, our referees are Pat Frayer, Sean Corbin, and Daniel Scott. Pat Frayer and Sean Corbin favor the Raptors. Danielle Scott favors the Pelicans. There you go. All right, let's see. Did I miss anything? Oh, the Raptors are showing up in the ESPN Power Rankings this week at number 28. They went up a spot from 29th to 28th after this past week. They're 4-14. They're saying the Raptors currently have 5 players averaging more than 30 minutes per game, with only one of them, Jakob Poeltl, north of 25 years old. The roster has fully been flipped from the 2019 title-winning squad and has instead been turned over to Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, Grady Dick, and RJ Barrett. As a result, Toronto is not competing for a playoff spot, but for ping pong balls and the lottery and the chance to add another young difference maker. That's what you think, Tim Bontemps. But have you seen the Eastern Conference, as Brian put on the to the point, the Eastern Conference? They're not that good, and we have a chance to make the playoffs. So don't count us out yet, Tim Bontemps, you piece of shit. You're trying to say that we're already out, motherfucker. You're wrong. All right, there's no birthdays today. Let's get out of here, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptors Freak this morning. I'll be back tomorrow with reaction to both the Raptors and the Raptors 9:05 game tonight. Let's get after it, Raptors, and win this game. This is a road win that y'all need to win. If you don't win, I might be a little critical and coming after y'all tomorrow because this is one we need to get. We're not going to get a road win at all until now. We need to get it now. This is a game y'all need to win. If anything, exercise some of the losses you've had at the Smoothie King Arena in the last couple of years and beat a depleted Pelicans team that's been losing to everybody. They're on like a 6-game losing streak. So continue to add the L's to them. Let's go, Raptors. Let's get after it. Let's go. Raptors. Woo! 9:05. Let's go, baby.